You're Dwight Howard. What would you do?
Well, if I would hope he would stay in Orlando. But this is where I would handle it if I'm the Magic. I go to him and says, listen, Dwight, you're a good kid. We like you. But we can't let you leave as a free agent. Just be honest with us right now. And I have his agent in there also. And say, are you going to re-sign, or should we just try to make the best deal possible? You can't let a guy, he's a great player. He's a franchise center. You can't just let him go. So, but listen, this is business. They got to make a decision, but you just be honest with the kid and sit down with him and his agent.
Well, let me ask you this, though. First of all, I got to say, it's a nice look not seeing you in black on black on black. That's a good look for you, Precious. But anyhow, and what you're talking about, if you Dwight Howard, I think one of the issues, and nobody's addressing this, I felt this is the same issue for LeBron James. I think the organization has failed Dwight Howard because I don't think they've ever built a team around him capable of winning a championship.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course you can, Precious.
Let's go back to Cleveland.
Okay.
Has any team other than the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Orlando Magic made more trades? Now, first of all, have they all worked out? No. But the Cleveland Cavaliers tried everything. They went out. They bought in Antoine Jameson. They bought in Shaquille O'Neal. They tried a bunch.
Shaq was 54 years old, though,
No, but I'm saying, like, first of all, this ain't fantasy basketball. You can just go pluck somebody. We got salary cap issues.
No, you're right about that.
And same thing with Orlando. They went out and got Turkoglu. They went out and got Jason Richardson. They went out and got Gilbert Arenas.
Now, see, that's my point right there. And listen to what you just said. And this is what I'm saying. They made a lot of moves. But they didn't do the one thing you had to. They never went and got him another superstar caliber player. What I'm saying is,
those are available.
Whoa! Look at what the Lakers did to go get Pau Gasol. They put themselves in a. They
gave up. Listen,
they put themselves in a position. Well, however you want to say it, though, Chuck. But they did it.
But
they
in
went out
fairness,
and got a superstar
they did get an
player.
all-star return because Marcus Gasol is a very good player.
No, they did. But what I'm saying is, the Lakers, when they went out and wanted to build a championship caliber team, they didn't go out and get guys who were very good players, but they weren't superstar caliber, perennial all-star caliber players.
It's not that easy.
No, it's not easy.
Yeah.
But you got to be able to do it. That's the whole point. They're not paying Otis Smith or Danny Ferry minimum wage. They were paying them a lot of money to go out and build a team around this guy so that they could have a chance to compete for a championship.
It's not that easy just to go and get. I mean, we have, first of all, the most important thing is the salary cap. But most people aren't trading their all-star players for people's junk in return. Like you talk about Danny and Otis, it's not up to Danny Ainge says, hey, let me give you my best player so you can feel good about your job. I mean, this is all really competitive, but that's the only thing. Listen, if Dwight wants to leave, it's up to him. But I think Otis and I thought Danny Ferry and Cleveland got bad raps because those teams tried every single thing.
Now, would you have handled the situation differently? Like they try to compare it to Shaquille. Shaquille never came out and said, I want to leave Orlando. Do you think Dwight went about this whole process the wrong way?
I don't think you should ever. And I thought LeBron was wrong, and I thought Carmelo was wrong. Mm-hmm. I don't think you should come to practice every day and talk about where I might want to go and things like that.
That's my issue.
That's not cool. Like, because first of all, it's just the other players' locker room thinking like, man, we must really suck. You know?
Well, it hurt Jameer. Jameer was an all-star a few years ago before he hurt his shoulder, and he finally admitted last week that, you know what, Dwight and I are best friends, but now I'm not good enough to play with him now?
Dude, we've been, we always talk about it. When you got one foot out the door, your team can't compete at the highest level. One thing about sports, you have to be all in or you're out.
Right.
You can't. If you got one foot in the door, out the door, you're really out the door. We went through it last year with Denver. Mm-hmm. You can't play under those circumstances.
Chuck and the fellas earlier on Game Time. Howard's been the topic of conversation most of the season, and particularly last weekend at the All-Star game, of course. They're nervous down there. The Magic fans, they kept coming up to us and said, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with Dwight? Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? So what's going to happen?
You know what? Dennis and I walked around that arena, and it's a fabulous arena.
Beautiful.
So we've came to the conclusion it's something that somebody's not telling us on why this kid wants to leave. We all know if he stays, he can make the most there. There's something going on that somebody's not talking about on why this kid wants to leave. Now, everyone makes good points. Charles makes the point about this being the business. You can't let your guy go, and I agree with that. But I also think that, Dwight needs to be honest with the organization and say, hey, this is what I want. whether it's a new coach, whether it's a new player. This is what I want. This is what it will take for me to stay. He has to be honest. He has to be honest.
You don't think he's had that conversation?
I don't know. I don't know. But he has to be honest. He has to be a leader. He has to be a straight-up businessman. Or he has to also say, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. Time's up. It's time for me to move on and do bigger things so that the organization can try to get something in return. But they're not going to get anything in return for him.
Well, he's sent some mixed signals over the course of the season. He admitted he had asked for a trade, then later on said, well, with the right combination of players, maybe I'd be happy there. And who knows what's going to happen.